for the whole team, hold yourself up the top. Stick May generally just on the inside here, and you can stick wait for it just down in here. Then you can stick shown in light blue. You can stick a May wall across here, and then have all the teams focus onto whoever's on this side. Holding on the low ground is Papega as hell, because then they just switch goats and just run your Orisa over, and there's really not a lot you can do about that. No, we're not drawing penises. That's not what we're doing. Such a child. Holy shit. And for away from what you'll have is that if he stick on this little landing, what he can do is he can come up and then shoot down main, or he can drop a little bit and shoot out the door. But he has that flexibility, make sure he can stay alive. I don't know why we decide to hold on the low ground, but, you know, whatever, dude. We'll let it play out. No, but you see what I mean? Now this turret's exposed, and this turret is very surprisingly useful. If it's well protected, it's very, very hard to get rid of, and now we're holding here, just abandoning it for no reason. Yeah, it's annoying that there's no comms, because I can't hear anything, because the comm structure is actually very, very useful to know. This is good though, Tom, I like this. It's a lot of suppressing fire, you're building ult very quickly, like, this idiot isn't doing anything. Fucking look at you go. This is PogChamp, I like this. You're keeping yourself alive. Were you calling for the damage boost, or were you just getting it?
I was just getting it.
Okay, well, then make sure to thank your mercy.
No, I did after the game.
Nice, 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 nice. Now, it's unfortunate there are no target calls because I can't see, like, who you'll want dead. Generally, either you or the Orisa will be the one taking the target calls. Only reason we'd have Orisa is because, you know, they're at the front and they don't need to, like, look around. They need to have as much time as possible outputting damage to make the best use of that really, really large clip. Yeah, you can avoid that. Okay. The only thing that I could say is that targets falling down are actually the easiest things to hit in the world. I mean, not for me, because I have fucking Parkinson's and can't aim for shit, but you have aim, so that Zarya, that could have been at least one headshot, which would have been quite nasty. She was already half HP. So,
yeah.
oh my fucking god, this Torbjorn actually sucks ass, dude. No cap, like,
it's rude.
I don't care, dude. Like, it's jeopardizing this team's chance of success.
Whoa. Strong words.
It's just putting this turret in trash spots, dude. Phantom, I don't know if you will watch this, but I'm breaking the fourth wall here and just be like, please think about where you put your turret. And then for the rest of the team, there's no use holding in this. So something that you can, Tom, is recognize this and just have a go at the team to think that this is actually stupid. I know you're trialing and maybe don't want to just like speak out of turn or whatever, but this is Papega. But what you're like, their switch goes. Their entire intention is to just run over our Orisa. So we don't need to hold in this choke point. Like, if we were to stick ourselves up on Cafe, then this whole area is a complete and extending off this way as well. That's a complete no-go zone for the enemy team, but they have to go through it. And we can put a really massive amount of damage into this corridor, into this area, while also staying at a safe range. The whole point is that we kite them. We stay out of their range, and use particularly Orisa, to just pump loads of damage into this idiot's shield. That's the whole point. We don't need to play on the low ground. We don't need to face damage. We're actually jeopardizing our chances of success. This is something, Tommy, you can recognize. I mean, it's good damage output. Big trans. Good trans. I don't know if it was deliberate, but I like the patience.
Yeah.
Because there isn't a need to trans until a little bit later, and also gets a little bit of value out from later trans. It's just unfortunate that the hog gets picked. Good use of corners. Make sure that Orisa stays up. Who are you healing this entire time? Mercy?
Yeah, I think so.
So you're achieving your primary objective by healing our Mercy, but now you can see that she's max HP. But what you can't see, well, you can see that she's max HP. She doesn't need the support. Nothing here is going to kill her. Unless this Zen is unbelievably good and will hit 4 consecutive headshots onto a Valking Mercy, which she's not. She's fine. So it's little awareness things, like if you could like pump some more healing into this Orisa, she can stay alive, she can contest the point. If you can try and get into LOS of the Mei to heal her up, although she's kind of blocked herself into this own corner. But this is what I was talking about in setting up in this zone down here. We get massively split as soon as they try and charge our Orisa. We're going off in every direction imaginable, which really fucks you over as one of the support players, because now you're really limited as to what you can do, and this enemy comp can very easily just speed around and single out targets, which is what they do. I don't know if it would have been easier to find the Torbjorn or find the Mei, but one of the two, at this point even the Orisa, because she's quite low and not getting any support from the Mercy. This is a rip. You just need to die basically. Little things is, rather than shooting at his shield, try and look. This Zen's exposed. It's entirely possible that you beat him in a 1v1. I mean, it's not going to happen, but you can build your ult charge rather than spamming yourself into a shield. Just build up a little bit more ult charge. You could probably be at 50% at least. It's just little things that will help out.
It's just if I didn't like shoot the brick there, she might have just shield bash me.
No, she shield bashed to get in range, dude. She'd already used it. Okay, now you'll want to be thinking, so we've had almost a complete reset of ults, and you can see they have 3 online now, having used that simply as the only one they use to push, which is actually very, very good from them.
Use Grav as well.
Sorry?
And use Grav.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh, well then that Zarya's done pretty good too. Oh yeah, of course they did. They opened with that and then beat it afterwards. But still, very good from them. So basically we need to try and take this fight early. So if we can take it at this corner here, that secures us at least one more fight, because then the cart will end up about here, and then we can recontest. If we wait till the cart, if we clear that, and I'll show it in red again, if we wait till the cart's like here and try and contest, they'll overload us with 3 or 4 ults and just win. And then we won't be able to contest with that. We'll come out staggered and it'll be Papega as hell. So if you can recognize this and this isn't coming from the team, then you need to be calling this. Stick yourself in the right spot so you can get long line of sights. Good, you're just spamming down choke, trying to build some charge. Good. Yeah, you need to recognize this and just say, look, we need to just take this fight early. Apparently this is what the team is trying to look to do. which is good. No, okay, so apparently someone's got a brain. But you see what I mean, like, I don't, what's this Zarya building massive charge from?
Oh, she came around the side and
Yeah, so the Zarya's done a really good job. Something that you may want to look into as a team is try and develop some off angles. So if you want to try and stick Zarya up here to fire down, that would be Pog, or even easier would be D.Va. And it's also particularly with D.Va, if D.Va's up here, this denies very easy ult charge to their Zarya, because they'll build 20 in about 2-3 seconds. So yeah, she's coming off on the flank and just feeding off our Zarya. It's a good thing we don't have any ults to use, because I guarantee you we would have tried to use them.
I almost got
so that's their 3 tank ults, but we took the fight early. We did some stall, and now we're still behind on ults massively because they rolled us. But we've got time, which is very, very important. But there you can see where the cart is. It's exactly where I predicted, because the man's a genius. Now, again, so the team's coming out here clearly not quite understanding what the objectives are. So having the enemy team up where they are right now is very much a gamble from them, because if they couldn't react quick enough, there's nothing stopping us running over their D.Va, at least forcing her off cart before they drop down onto our backline. So to prevent this, what you can do is you can just kind of hang back. You're the only one with an ult. So you have 2 options. You can either you won't want to use it offensively. You won't want to engage with it, because then they'll just rally and then trans after you and just win. You'll want to try and use it defensively. If they jump our backline, they'll probably use rally and try and jump your backline. So that will be gone. That's the time where you use trans to stay alive. Because if you don't, then you just lose this fight, because you don't have anything to try and deal with this. You have no ults. You've got low damage. The Zarya is not charged. Although something Zarya could do is she can get up here very, very easily. But I was talking about these off angles. She can try and shoot down. Hollywood is actually surprisingly good for Zaryas, because you can get just above where the cart goes and pump out massive amounts of damage. But yeah, you'll want, in terms of what you want to do, you'll want to hang back a little bit to make sure you've got a vision over the whole fight, and then you can make a judgment call about whether or not you trans. Because our D.Va's trying to push, but we're apparently ignoring. I don't like this. I do not like this at all. But you see, they rally and try and jump our backline. Although you're inside, so you're kind of protected. Their Ryan needs to die, so good focus. Good, I like that. You want, so if we just track back here. Good, their Ryan's fucking retarded. You probably could have saved your Ryan, actually, but we're equal now. We're on Ryan's. We're on equal footing. Our tanks are ahead in ult charge, so it's entirely possible that we can get a grab off this fight. And unless the Zarya is an idiot, we probably should do. You'll want to be moving off this way rather than moving off this way, because in pushing yourself this way, you're exposing yourself, and you're of particular value. You're of high value as Zenyatta anyway. You're vulnerable, and you're a high source of damage and healing. Well, not so much high, but you have value as a support. You're of particular value because you've got ult, so putting yourself this way exposes you. And if you get exposed and pressured out, you'll either panic and press Q, or you'll die and be unable to press Q, both of which would not be ideal. If you move yourself over this way, this keeps yourself protected. Is that making sense?
Yep.
Cool. good focus. I don't know what the calls are, but that Zen is very much exposed. You should trans here.
Yeah, I was thinking that. But yeah, I thought they would have Graph again. So.
How would they have Grav?
Oh no, she's getting it really quick. She gets like 20% in like this next like 10 seconds.
But this is where we're falling short, in that she used it in the last fight, and considering we all died in that Grav, she won't have built any charge. She won't have built much by way of ult charge. She may have built 10% out of that Grav, because obviously you can't build ult charge while your ult is active, unless you're Ashe, but that's scuffed as hell. But anyway, she won't have built much by way of ult charge, and there's been a lot of downtime when the Zarya hasn't done anything. They've moved her up to the high ground. That's too high for Zarya, and meant that she can't do anything. So she can't be close to Grav. And with the benefit of hindsight, we can see that.
Yeah.
Ideally, what I would have liked to have seen is the team kind of play around in here. Basically try and keep themselves alive, because they don't want to push aggro without a shield. Because then you can very easily press Q and just win. And then we'd have time to build Grav. And if they don't counter trans to try and even the odds, then we've got a free Grav afterwards. But I'd rather that we played in this zone in here, use what protection we have, rather than try and push out without a shield. Like, we only have to win. Like, they're the ones that have to kill you all in order to win. We just have to wait and stall time. That's all we have to do.
Yeah.
But yes, working with what we've got. As soon as you see your Zarya fall low, you need to trans now. And the fact that you're not is actually a bit worrying. Okay, so we've got a free Grav, but you let them all die. So as soon as you see that Zarya's stunned, you need to Grav now, not Grav trans now. Because inevitably, with this Zen in here being a fucking idiot sitting in there, he will inevitably trans as well. Because any pressure that he comes under, he'll see a lot of pixels flying across the screen and press Q. He'll panic. You need to stay a little bit more calm and collected, and then save your Zarya. Because your Zarya is very much a win condition right now. Yeah, I think that's quite obvious. But you just let three of the team die in favor of trying to do some damage to a Zarya that you miss. And then we abandon the team, which is fine. You keep yourself alive. But you've held trans for over 2 minutes now. Okay. Good, you're helping out your Zarya. Oh dear. Okay.
That was pretty stupid not to use trans.
So this is a stupid Grav, first and foremost. And we need to rally this if we want any chance of staying alive. Because this Zarya is an idiot. And then she doesn't rally, and 2 die, which you could have prevented. I mean, you could have prevented it earlier on, but anyway, we'll work with what we got. This had better be a huge bomb, and of course it isn't. So, what you're doing right now isn't necessarily wrong. You're backing off, you're trying to keep yourself alive, just pumping out damage. It's just that your trans usage has been very off.
Yeah.
It's good that we're all grouping though. I like that. I like that. Is D.Va trying to get an off angle from the left? Okay, you'll basically, just to make this a bit better, you'll want to be playing off on this right side rather than in the middle, because these railings aren't cover. Well, they are for one shot. But if anything goes through that one shot, then you're fucked. At least on the right side, you've got some cover, and you can peek LOS. Optimization is what we're about here. Okay, so you clearly have no idea what you're shooting at, either. Oh dear.
Yeah.
So, this Lucio, is this his first sound barrier of the match? Surely not.
Don't think so.
Actually, I think it is.
No, it's not. Surely.
He's played Mercy for the first round, and then got stomped throughout B. So actually it is. That's a yikes. But anyway. You've gotten too close. Right here.
I should have tranced.
So you're getting very close in here. You use a counter trance.
Yeah.
That's a yikes. Just keep something alive. Have your healing orb on something all the time. Okay. Okay, we're not gonna watch this. So far what we've got, I'll write it in purple. So far what we've got is we've got two things. Not two things, we've got a couple of things. That are current themes. So thing number one would basically be maximize kind of, I'll put it as LOS for want of a better word because I can't write it properly, but how much of the map you can see. You don't want to be too far back, obviously, because then you can't be peeled. But you don't want to be going in close, because then you're under a lot of pressure. You've got to find that sweet spot to make sure that you can make educated calls. Sorry. You can make educated and rational decisions to make sure that you can utilize your kit to the best of your ability. Second thing is value of ult. So a lot of people put a lot of value onto their ultimates when playing goats. The thing is that ults build so fast to the point where the concept of a dry push has ceased to exist. But we still have this notion of, oh, we'll dry push and build ults. No, that doesn't exist because of how quickly ults build. You can't, this isn't to say you can chuck out ultimates. I mean, things like Shadow, you can be most liberal with using. Because of it builds ridiculously fast. Like, you can literally build it in 2 seconds. It's insane. But with trans, you build trans pretty quickly. You can output a lot of damage. Your healing needs a bit of work, but you can output a lot of damage, which will build ult pretty fast. You just need to make sure that you use it, even if it keeps like 1 or 2 members. Like, if your Ryan falls low and you trans to save him, that's a worthwhile trade. Because it's much more important that you keep your Reinhardt alive and then worry about it later than it is to have your Ryan die and then just lose. Because chances are that's what you'll lose. Statistically, it's something like if the Ryan dies first, I'm taking like owl stats, but when the Ryan dies first, on average, it's something like a 20% team fight win rate. It's somewhere between 20 and 30%. Which is really, really low. Which just proves the value of Reinhardt in comps like this. So you basically just need to make a call and stick with it. If you just hold on to your ult to think, oh, I'll save it for Grav. No, that's not the only option for Grav. You can beat Grav, you can rally in Grav, you can do a lot of things, you can counter Grav. You can do a lot of things to save yourself from Grav. But if you need 300 healing a second, there's only one way to do that. Well, realistically, there's only one way to do that. And the third thing is, that's a scuff 3, but anyway, the third thing is just heal all the time. Simply put, there's no reason not to. Like, there's no like, you're not sacrificing a long cooldown, you're not drawing attention away from other teammates. If a person needs support, or even if it's some downtime, just have that healing orb on somebody all the time. Get into that habit. Because there have been times when there have been like 2, 3, 4, 5 plus seconds of you not healing anything, and then that person dying because they're not getting that support. I mean, if they're focused hard enough, they'll die anyway, but it's more about building your charge and increasing the odds of them surviving.
Yeah.
Is that making sense so far?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's move on to the attack.
This is Pog. I think that, like, the main problem with Trance is, like, I've been, like, in the past, oh no, you gotta go back, this Pog. Back.
Oh,
Yeah,
lol?
Just play that. Okay.
Hang on. I just, it just, like, quit me from the thing.
Okay.
That's actually Pepega.
How do I get you back?
Oh, no, I just re-clicked the link, that's fine. I'll find the right time.
7:41.
Yeah, it's syncing me up.
So, like, I in the past I've been, like, more liberal with Trance usage. But, like, I think in this I was just, like, really stressed about using it properly, you know? I didn't really think about...
Oh, that's Pog, actually. That's actually, that's a nasty right click.
Let me get 3 kills, dude, it's insane.
Yeah, but you also need to heal your Brig urgently. Like, why is Brig still on 100 HP?
Where's Brig?
Exactly. This is my point exactly. You're denying yourself LOS. So this Ashe builds up large amounts of ult charge. Eventually dies, but she builds large amount of ult charge off these two alone. Like, she's dead, but she can still build ult charge because the Zarya is still burning, and the Zarya does not want to use 10 second bubble cooldown just for burning. She can get healed through that. So Brig can heal up the Zarya. You need to heal this Brig. This Brig is at less than 100 HP for way too long. It's insane. I don't understand why she's not getting healed, and it's sacrificing. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's on you, to be honest. I mean, the Zarya uses bubble kind of weird, but basically we need to say, actually, hold on a second. Like, they bought a lot. I know we want to try and chase up on the res, but we're like, hold on a second. Our Brig's less than 100 HP. Our Brig's close to 50 HP and not getting healed at the expense, and the only way she's getting healed is at the expense of speed, which we want more, and you're not building charge. And then at the same time, immediately afterwards, this Zarya exposes herself, and you're not healing her either. You're healing a full HP Reinhardt.
Yeah.
This Brig's still crit health because no one's healing her. So you're building ult charge, but it's just the wrong way to do it. This is the thing. You seem fine with letting people die, despite it losing the fight. Good, there we go. We're paying some more attention to what we need to be doing. Good, keep that diva up. She's under the most pressure. And then just aim forehead. Would prefer you to have stuck yourself in that corner or in that corner to maintain LOS, and just don't get close to people. Like, you don't have to, and it's beneficial to you if you don't. So just stick yourself in one of the back corners to have more LOS so you can see what's going on. Because this is the issue with having main tanks as target callers, in that it's a very restricted view. Being that close, like if you have like Ryan as your target caller, this is kind of a bit of a tangent, but there's a point here. Like, then all he sees, like, if we talk in relative terms, that's all he sees in this blue box. But if you're further back, this blue box increases to this, and then to this. It keeps increasing in size the further back that you go. And having Ryan seeing only this means he can't make good judgment calls based off very narrow information. And this is what you're doing to yourself, in that instead of seeing all this red zone, you're limiting yourself to the purple or even this inner blue zone. That's not beneficial to you. You're restricting yourself, which seems somewhat paradoxical and somewhat ironic.
Ooh, big words.
So you're
Dude,
Ryan,
paradoxal
you
is
shift.
actually a word. No cap.
Who's on the car?
Either.
Why?
Because that's what she's meant to be in the car. What do you mean? You must know that. You must know that. Diva's meant to be on the car.
No, she's not.
She is.
No, that's a lie. There is no, oh, this person's meant to be on cart. That doesn't exist as a concept. In, like, Dive, this worked. You could stick Zen on cart. And because Mercy was sufficient to support them on their own. Because it was a little more individualistic at the time. But now it's so team-based, and ults are very important. We have a massive ult advantage. But we're making that advantage less by denying ourselves a bomb. Like, look, they have no ults. None at all. We can win with these ults. We can win with, if we underline it in green, we can win with all these ults. But it won't, but we're denying ourselves a higher chance of winning. Because you can whiff this, because the enemy will just kite back. You can whiff this, because they'll just block it. You can whiff this, because again, they can just kite back. I mean, you can whiff this as well, because then you can just have your shields up and whatever. But 4 against none is better than 3 against none. Like, this isn't complicated, like, statistics. This is very simple. Like, oh, excuse me. Having D.Va on cart is only useful when we know 2 things. 1, that the Zarya doesn't have grab. This is what we've got. 2, when D.Va doesn't have bomb, which she does. So we meet one of the 2 requirements to have D.Va on cart. But the rest of it, no, we don't have the we're denying ourselves an advantage. Now, I know you want to push the cart, and I know you also want to push an advantage. However, we'd still have this advantage if we let the enemy team try and come up and take a fight early. Because they won't have ults, so we can use like one ult. We can literally possibly even just use rally to win the next fight and create space for the cart if the enemy team decides they want to take a fight early. And we can probably shatter, build grav off that shatter, and carry on. And then when we grav, like the final fight, you can build shatter into that grav and just keep chaining the 2. Chuck a bomb in there as well, easy clap. And also, you're much more free to use trans, because if this Zarya is at perpetually low charge, you can build your trans before she can build grav. So like if like 1 or 2 of your players get low, you can just press Q. There's no worries, because you're miles ahead of the enemy team. So it's kind of, you'll want to recognize this for yourself as to how we can maintain an advantage as a team. What I'm giving you is the ability to make some more big brain plays and big brain calls to compound your victory. And that'll be an easy clap. In ranks, that'll just mean, it doesn't mean a lot. But in scrims, this will mean that you'll put on a very, very impressive performance if you actually start using your brain and think, actually, how can all this interact with each other? Like, I know you want to push an advantage, but at the expense of lowering it. And we rally for no reason. So it's good that you weren't very quick to jump in through there. But like, what are we achieving by doing this other than feeding them ult charge? We don't need ult charge. We have superior ult charge. But what are we doing? We haven't achieved anything by doing this. This may feel great, but remember, in 10 seconds, they'll just come out that door, and I'll have more ults to work with. We actively reduced our ability to win. Which is insane. Like, the Zarya went from like 15% to like, almost 90% in 5, 10, 15? It's not letting me shift forward. Oh, spoilers. Yeah, so she went from 15 to 80 in like 15 to 20 seconds. That Rhine went from 10 to 70 in the same time. This could have been avoided. Like, we still have more rolls, but now it's just it doesn't have to be this tight. You need to get yourself off cart as well. Like, you seem to be keen to be ahead of the rotations. Which just exposes yourself unnecessarily. So yeah, this is a better position. But once again, you're not healing anybody. You can save your Rhine there. You felt trans for like a minute. So you come out of trans for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, you've gone a lot of seconds without healing anything. Denying yourself ult charge. And yeah, you could also totally save your Rhine. Because they didn't have the burst damage to burn through it. But you see here, mismanagement of ults and the miscalling of a situation has meant that we've just lowered our advantage. We've just reduced our chances of winning. Like, we still have plenty of time, and we should win this. But what I'm saying is that it could be done faster, it could be done cleaner. This Zarya is too high as well. But she's not achieving anything by being that high up. I mean, you've built trans very, very fast off the back of that Rhine being on the floor. Oh, that's a yikes. That was panic, wasn't it? Yeah. Reduction of panic is very simple, it's just practice, basically. If you just keep exposing yourself to a situation, you won't panic about it all the time. Good, you're building charge quickly. That D.Va... Was that ours or theirs? On the top right. That's theirs. Isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so this D.Va is very exposed, and you could build probably like 15 ult charge off that. Rather than trying to discord a Rhine that's nowhere near your own Rhine's range, you can start building your own charge. Also, that Lucio needs healing, and you just let him die again. Oh, that was nasty.
Oh.
Sorry. I'm recovering, I promise. So yeah, keeping yourself around the hay bales is absolutely fine. They chuck out a grab and whiff it massively. Okay, that beat came out a little bit early. You can save your Rhyme, but we don't need to.
Yeah. The call is disengage. I remember that one.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. There we go. And they chucked out Shadow even when they didn't need to. Okay. So now we think they're the only one. They have trans. You've held trans for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. You could have used it and built it to about 80 by now already. But now we want to see that if we can try and single out one of their players and make their trans less valuable, that would be the right way to go. So because like we can assume, like actually the Zarya will probably build Grav in this next fight, but if we can use this Grav to try and single out if like their D.Va's out of position, their Zarya's out of position, their Lucio's out of position, because realistically these 3 won't be. But if the 3 marked with one of these is out of position and we can solo grab them and then kill them, then that will put them at a massive disadvantage, particularly if we take out their Zarya. That's what I'd hope to see. Although I'm pretty sure what we're about to see is like some 4-man grab, think it's good, and then not be able to kill anything. Yeah, there we go. Now we gave him a free grab. But they're not going to use it. Good. Okay. That's lucky, actually. That's very lucky. Like, the fact that we get away with that is interesting.
There's already seed.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you usually get off cart, though. Because they're about to come out that door that's 10 meters away from you. We've got no Lucio, we need to back out now. Because as soon as they come out of spawn with their own Lucio, they're just going to run us over, so good.
That's kind of scuffed because replays don't capture like pauses. So we had like a 5-minute pause there. Because they're Zarya DC'd again.
Yeah, I saw her like spawn back in. Again, with the big Grav that's not going to be able to kill anything. Stand corrected. Okay, you managed to kill their own. Fine.
Big charge. Oh, and then the replay somehow ends here. Like in a second. No why.
I don't know if it's like capped out at a time limit.
Maybe.
You need to get the fuck back. I don't know why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so to summarize, we can see yeah, it's still the maximize line of sight.
Nice writing.
Shut the fuck up, man. What else was I saying? Just heal more, because this doesn't impact your damage output, so sure, you can carry on. And then 3 would be ults. And how do you use them? Recognize when you have an advantage, recognize when you don't, recognize when you can save your team, recognize when it's not worth it. These are three big things that can be noticed, and these 3 things can be very easily worked upon. The way that you fix number 1 is as simple as literally just not pressing W sometimes and keeping what you can see on the screen as much as possible, within reason. Thing number 2 is also very easy. Just press shift on some things. 3, the third thing is going to be the hardest one to figure out. Oh man, can't speak. It's going to be the hardest thing to figure out, because It's kind of a practice thing. If your team decides they want to flame you for making the right decision, then talk with the coaches afterwards and just be like, I've made the right call here. I don't know why they're having a go at me. Like, talk with the staff to realize that actually what you've done is correct. And then just practice. Scenarios like the ones that you saw in this VOD will come up a lot of the time. You'll hold on to trans because, oh, it's very valuable, it heals so much, but you build it so fast that you can kind of chuck it out a bit more.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to
I
do
think, like, on the academy team, I'm like more liberal with the usage. I kind of just like chuck it out because I'll probably build one like every fight.
Yeah.
But here I was more concerned about like using it like as good as I could, which obviously I
But in
didn't.
doing that, you didn't use it at all, pretty much.
Yeah,
You didn't.
basically.
You like
I
in
was
doing that, in trying to think, oh, I want to make it good. You actually made it worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
So just keep that more liberal mindset to using your trans, because you will build it fast enough. Particularly if you start healing more. You can maintain the same damage output by just occasionally pressing shift on some people and keeping your team up. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, then we're done here.